Welcome to episode 281 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
And once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gamestitch listeners.
It's going to be a hot one.
Good. Here too.
I think we're looking in 90s today.
Well, I thought it was supposed to rain, but I don't see any signs of it. My wife's out vacuuming the pool already.
It's pretty well always raining here.
Really?
Because humidity is like 90%.
Humidity is gorgeous, wonderful.
It's just like a steam outside.
That's not rain.
It's pretty much rain. You're wet as soon as you go out.
A sauna and rain are not the same thing.
They're first cousins.
I'm sorry. That's like saying a sauna and a sprinkler system are the same thing. They are not.
They're kissing cousins.
They're
moisture.
Not. Yeah, they're
wet.
No, they're like third cousins twice removed.
People like to say kissing cousins. That's pretty unacceptable no matter what.
It didn't used to be. That's the problem. The problem,
Right.
I think where that comes from, and I don't know this, but I think where this comes from is not way back, but generations before me or so. I think that families were a lot closer, and I think that, like first cousins hung out a lot more.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think once they got to be of a certain age, they would like experiment, practice kissing, that kind of stuff. I think that's where that comes from.
So according to dictionary.com.
So we need the meaning of kissing cousins?
Yeah, I'm going to give you what they say.
Okay.
It is a relative that is known well enough to be given a kiss upon greeting.
I don't think that's generally how it's meant.
Urban Dictionary tells you that it's any cousin, not a first cousin, because you can't have sex with first cousins. I like the stark difference between Urban Dictionary and Dictionary.com.
Those are quite different. You're right.
Yeah. I like that. So we're pro kissing cousins if you use the Dictionary.com. We're probably anti if we... Actually, who cares?
Yeah, do you do you.
Do you do you or your cousin? Because we're about just getting on here and talking about video games.
Right. We're not concerned with what you do in your private life.
Yeah, as long as you're doing it to this podcast.
And you really shouldn't be like breaking any rules either. So I shouldn't say that we don't care what you do in your private life. We do, but
We prefer people to operate within the law.
Yeah, we like decent people. We do.
Mm-hmm.
We prefer decent people, not, if you're a shitbag, then don't be a shitbag.
But I don't think kissing your cousin makes you a shitbag.
I don't either, but I realized when I said, you do you, we're not concerned with your private life, that kind of leaves a very wide door, very wide open. And yeah, there are certain things you don't do. I do care if you're burying bodies under your basement, that kind of thing. Because technically that's your private life, but don't do that.
Right, at least have the decency to use a field somewhere.
No, yeah.
That's what you're saying, right?
No, that's actually, you've misinterpreted me. I think we need dictionary.com to clear up what I mean.
I think kissing cousins is as extreme as dictionary.com goes. I don't think we'll find anything about burying bodies.
Probably not.
Urban Dictionary, however, they're all in.
Yeah, it probably means something completely wackadoo.
Yeah, like yum yum in my tum-tum.
Right.
Who saw that coming?
Neither of us.
So this week's a little different. We're going to talk about some games that we played and whatnot, but then we're going to go straight into E3 predictions. And even that's going to be a little different.
The problem with E3 predictions is in the past, what we've done is we have literally given our predictions of things we'll see from different developers and publishers at E3. However, this year, the developers and publishers have decided to kind of throw a wrench in the workings of the Gamestitch E3 prediction show and pretty much told everybody what they're going to be seeing. They've left very little room left for surprises, which can make the predictions incredibly hard. It doesn't mean we don't have a few, but for the most part, we're just going to be covering what we know so far, and then throwing in our little twist on that.
We're going to do it as a conversation, though, so I might throw something out I think's happening. Dan will comment on it, maybe add to it. We'll just pivot like that. We'll keep it very free-flowing. This is Canadian Walmart's fault.
They sure didn't help.
So if you don't like it, blame them. But we're just going to ease into this. We played a little bit together last night. We finally got to check out Sea of Thieves, Hungering Deep.
We did. I'm telling you what, the game looks even better.
The rain?
The rain? The sky?
Doctor.
They changed they have they've added more to the sky. There's different colored clouds. You actually see the colors in the sunset and the sunrise. The water particle effects look better. I think they've thrown in quite some more storms.
The storms are different. I think there are different types. There used to be like one storm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm in the storm. We got in a storm last night that didn't compare to what we had been in before.
Any storm we'd ever been in before.
The cool thing is, as we got on the edge of that storm, you could see the rain lighten up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Still raining, but it was a lot less as we sailed out of that storm and then eventually made it into the sun.
And swells eased up.
Yeah, they've done some really cool things with that game. The core is still the same.
Yes. Yep. The core game is still the same.
They added the first timed exclusive quest line
that we completed, might I add.
The Hungering Deep quest line, which we did last night. For me, it was a lot of fun to get back on the boat.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while. I remember when I played it before, I really, really enjoyed being with everybody on the schooner.
The sloop?
No, on the schooner.
Oh, the galleon.
Or the galleon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the big one.
I enjoyed being with all you guys on that. I realized last night, fuck that boat.
Yeah.
I much prefer the sloop.
That boat's slow. The other problem, and this is a me problem, the quest line for the Hungering Deep is like very much a fetch quest.
Yeah, and you're going all over the map.
But there's nothing to do once you get there. You're literally just going there and having a conversation or finding a thing and then going somewhere and having a conversation. So there's not a lot of excitement.
Isn't that what pirates do, though?
Yeah, but even in the other, like if you're doing like the quests they're normally 3 quest lines that are in there, they're still like go here and actually complete an objective. Whereas here it's just a sell here, walk here, sell here, walk here. You're not digging up treasure. You're not worried about pirates. You're not worried about other people because you don't even have anything on your boat.
No, it's also their first timed exclusive that they put out for this game. I think they wanted to see how that was going to flow, how that was going to work out. So I think you'll probably see, as they continue this, a few more, I guess, more complicated quests than... I mean, I think they needed the first one to just be simple to see how it was going to run. This is the first serious addition they've made to the game. They had a lot of balls in their court, and they had to make sure that they were all running the way they were supposed to.
There is some problem solving here. The idea, I think, is that you do it with a couple other people so you can bounce ideas off each other, find the next clue. But at the same time, it is still very much go here, do this.
Yes.
But I still had fun. It made me want to play the normal quest. It made me want to get back into just playing that game some more.
Yep, me too.
They've added a ton of new customizations. We bought black sails for the ship and a flag. But they've also added new tattoos, or tattoos at all, really. Before they were all random, but they've added tattoo sets in now. A bunch of new clothing and gear options. There's just a lot more in that game. As long as the updates come pretty fast and furious and they keep adding content like this, I think that game's going to have a pretty good back end.
Yep, me too.
But I will say, like, last night made me just want to play the regular game more than it did doing, to complete the Hungering Deep.
And I want to give a shout out to Howard 205 for not really taking it seriously.
Yeah, if there's one thing that could be said last night is he did not take pirate life too serious. He stayed intoxicated in game for about 94% of the night.
Yes. I would say that.
He threw up to the point that in real life he would absolutely been dehydrated.
Oh, no doubt. He'd need an IV.
Yeah. But the problem with that quest is you really just needed somebody on the sails and somebody steering the ship.
Yes, exactly.
Then once you went on shore, you just needed one person to go do the thing.
Yep.
So there wasn't any need for anyone.
Nope. And I think that may have been by design as well. So that people who just jumped in on their own could just jump in a sloop and go.
Sure, right. It needed to be easy enough for 1 to 4 people to complete that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't super exciting.
No, it wasn't. No.
But we did get a drum at the end.
I got a drum.
Yeah, the drum's okay. I like it.
And a tattoo set.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have a tattoo. It's one of the factory ones that my guy came with when I clicked the random preset.
Right. Can you
I
make that tattoo go away if you put the other ones on?
Yeah, so you can change it for another one, but I didn't see any that I just fell in love with. There's some packs that you have to spend in-game money on, and I decided to hold off on those because I'm really into the ship customization.
Yeah.
I'm really close to 70,000, and I think I want to get the Shark Hunter paint for the hull, and it makes my ship totally black with just little small like shark teeth up front. But that would give me a black boat with black sails and a black flag, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm only about 5,000 off, so if we had a good night of treasure hunting, I could probably do that.
I'm not even close. I have because I bought a new jacket last night that I really liked. Unfortunately, it doesn't go with the rest of my outfit, so I can't wear it yet. So I'm only at 7,000.
Ooh, how much was that jacket?
13,200. But it's a blue and red and gold Admiral's jacket. It looks sweet, but it looks dumb with the rest of my clothes I'm wearing right now.
Because I was willing to spend the $80 on the controller. I've been pretty lucky not needing. I honestly like what I wear enough that I could probably wear that the whole time I play this game. Mm-hmm. It's very fancy looking, but also kind of silly. It's the black and teal, which is a good color scheme. I
like my guy looking different though.
Yeah, and then I got the Chips Ahoy. I got all 4 of those things: the bucket, the tankard, the shovel, and the compass. And it kind of matches what I'm wearing because it's got the green stones and it's black. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty happy with the way I look. And then the controller also came with the weapons that are black and gold. So I look pretty good. I have a pretty good outfit on, not just pieces. And I'm pretty happy with the way I look. So I feel like I can spend my money. I'm not worried about spending that $70,000, I guess I should say, because I'm pretty happy with the way my character is.
Right.
So we'll see, but I'm 5,000 away from being able to scoop up the all black hull. We would look badass in all black.
We would.
That's a good look.
People would probably invite us to. It's probably an invitation to get shot at, but
probably. But we'd look good getting shot at.
That's true. Sinking, we'd look wonderful sinking.
We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but we both completed Detroit.
We did.
We've had numerous talks about the game.
A lot.
Maybe next week. No, next week we'll have to talk about everything that happened at E3. I do at some point want to revisit Detroit and talk about it a little bit. Who knows how or if that'll happen.
Well, it's going to be a bit because we got Comic-Con next weekend.
And then E3 actually happens. So part of E3 will be done and part of it won't by next week.
Yep. So then the following week we'll be talking about E3.
Yeah. Maybe we could squeeze a little talk in next week.
Maybe.
But we both completed it. I think we both agreed go play that game.
Oh, without a doubt.
And then I played I played Trackmania Turbo in VR.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Jarring. That game is really, really fast. And so it does this thing where you're just hovering over the car, but you have free movement of your head to look around, but you're still steering with the sticks. I found that to be fine. It's unnecessary in VR, but it's fine. But when you go in tight spaces, it puts you in the car, and in Trackmania, you're doing 2,000 miles an hour is what it feels like all the time. So there's some where you go upside down and drive loops. There's some where you have to power slide up the wall. It is very jarring because you feel like you're doing 9,000, and I was getting butterflies in my tummy when I was flipping upside down and stuff because it's so fast that your brain can't process you're not doing it.
Right.
So that game was definitely getting me in the stomach feels, in a good way though. Like it made me uncomfortable, but when I finished playing, I was kind of smiling. I like to for it to give me the feels like that, where you're like, this is working.
Feeling of excitement.
It just feels like it's working. Like my brain is being deceived in a controlled environment where I invited it in. You know,
right.
So I thought that was neat too. Trackmania was a free PlayStation Plus game, and if you have it and have VR, there's a VR mode in there, so check it out. Salty Shores update hit for Rocket League.
Mm-hmm. We played some of that.
We've done some of that. I like the new map. I think Boost is hard to see on there for me.
On the Sandy Shores map?
Yeah, the Salty Shores.
Well, change the color of your Boost.
No, not my Boost trail, like the pickups, because they're orange and the sand is orange.
Oh, okay.
I think it's hard to see.
Yeah, but I know where they're at.
Yeah. So you're driving to the points where they're supposed to be, but I do think it's hard to see.
Yeah.
If someone has got it before you get there. But yeah, I like that map overall. They changed the title screen, which I think is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fun for summer, so they've added some new stuff.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good when we played too, by the way.
Oh, I've had some ups and downs. I've had some really good nights, some really bad nights on Rocket League. But yeah, I like that update. I like the beachy stuff, the summer stuff. It made me paint my car different colors because I'm embracing the summertime. And then I'm still working my way through Dangerous Golf. 2 chapters left, and I'll be done with that thing. A lot going on with games right now.
Yeah, all I played, like I said, we talked about, I finished Detroit. Just go play that game. The Rocket League and the Sea of Thieves is, I think, about all I played. However, playing Detroit did make me more than ever want to play Beyond Two Souls.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm getting ready to get into that. I also purchased Old Man... Wow, what's it called? Old Man...
It's a Journey.
Old Man's Journey, that's it.
Yeah.
I purchased Old Man's Journey because that seems right up my alley. It is a game where you are essentially you're an old man walking back through your own memories. So that is one of those deep, heartfelt.
Yeah, it looks amazing. The art style's super cool.
And so I got to play that one too, but I did purchase it. So, and that's it. We're not talking too much about Detroit. I have so much to say, so that's unfortunate, but we got more important things.
That's right. And if this is your first time here, welcome. We do this little show every week. We sit down, we talk about video games. Sometimes we talk about other things. Pretty much whatever we want because we have no rules and no boss.
Boom.
So it's fair game. If you love the show so much you can't stand it, you can head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch and support us over there. We have a $1 tier all the way up to whatever you want to do. And any support helps. If you can't afford to support us, that's okay. This podcast comes out every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the globe. Big old fat Earth globe.
The globe. Around the world.
Yep. And thanks for listening. Like I said, this episode's going to be a little different if this is your first time here. Check out last week's or next week's, and you'll probably get a little bit better feel.
Probably not next week's.
Yeah. Check out episode 12. It'll be better than that.
Don't go back that far. Don't go back to 12. It'll be
better than 12.
Maybe like 221.
You could just listen to last week's. It was a normal episode.
It was a little long.
Yeah, it was a little long, a little girthy, but you're welcome.
I would say go back from one from like 5 weeks ago.
It won't be timely, but it'll be.
Yes, look for the one called Hey Mech Arena. Look for that one. That was a good one. That gives a good idea of the way our brains work. Constantly coming up with ideas, just going with the flow, having things to say.
Doing things.
Doing things. Not so much doing things. We pretend to do things.
So let's jump into the E3, what we think, what we know, what we think is coming, some chat. We'll just move from conference to conference in the order that they hit.
Sure.
I want to remind everybody of the schedule real quick before we jump in. So Saturday, June 9th will be EA at 11 Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Sunday, June 10th will be Microsoft at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Also on Sunday, we have Bethesda at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Devolver Digital closing out Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Monday, really crowded. Square Enix starting at 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern, 12 Central. Ubisoft at 1 Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. PC Gaming Show at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. And Sony closing out the night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And finally, Nintendo closing out with their E3 Nintendo Direct at 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 12 Eastern and 11 Central on Sunday, or on Tuesday. Very early.
Mm-hmm. And they're the only one.
Yeah, you got to wake up and put your jammies on and watch some Nintendo.
I probably have to go to work. But
yeah, I mean, I also have to go to work. I'll watch it at work, unless you're listening and you're from my work, in which case I won't be listening from work.
I don't know if I will be or not.
Yeah, I'm going to, unless someone from work is listening.
I'll probably have it on with no sound, which will probably help me not at all. But
you'd be like, "What the fuck is this? What is this? What
right.
is Nintendo? This doesn't make any sense."
Right.
Why are there puppets on here? Let's jump in. The first one is EA, and so let's talk about what we know first.
Okay.
Battlefield going to be a big part of this.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
We'll see a lot of Battlefield.
Honestly, I think you're going to see EA's conference take up. There's probably going to be 2 games that take up a majority of the time. That's going to be Anthem and Battlefield 5.
So I think they'll split their time between 3. All their sports games, then Battlefield, then Anthem is where I think you'll see.
They will talk about those. You're right.
So there'll be a bigger than necessary chunk spent on FIFA and Madden. They probably have new story modes that they want to show off or whatever the new thing is this year. Battlefield is predictable, so I think it can probably be the shorter of the 3. They
Anthem,
don't need to explain
nobody knows.
anything.
Anthem, nobody knows about. That's the one I think they're going to spend some serious time on because they need to start marketing this. They need to get word out there what it is, what it looks like, how to play it. Because I think EA knows it, and BioWare knows that it is make or break for that studio.
If the message isn't clear and easy to understand, then they need to not show Anthem. If they don't have this thing ready for you to understand in a very, this is what the game is, this is how you play it, they better not show it.
They are going to show it.
I mean, it's going to be there, but they don't need to show it in any major capacity if the thing's not ready.
They will. It's going to take up a majority of their chunk of time. I think I think it is. I think they do have what they need to put it out there to be able to tell people what it is and make it clear what Anthem is going to be. Right now, the consensus is pretty much that it's going to be BioWare's version of a Destiny game. That may be true, but I think there's going to be a few more components to that, and I think they're going to highlight those components.
If that's what it ends up being, are you still as excited?
I don't know. I don't mind that, but that's got to be done right.
But that exists. What you want out of BioWare are the experiences you've had in the past.
I do. That's what I enjoy. I guess maybe I wouldn't mind that as endgame content, but I need to have a single player story that is what traditionally BioWare does. After that, sure, let's go balls out with Destiny, with our Destiny Light or our Destiny 2.0 or whatever it's going to be with that style. Add some sort of end game to it to play that. Or play through the story co-op or together, drop in, drop out co-op, that's fine too. But I do need to have the type of stories and characterization that BioWare has traditionally done in the past. I do need this to be an action RPG. Or it's probably not going to... Just saying, hey, here's Destiny with our branding on it, that doesn't work for me. They've got to... If they're going to do that, that's fine. bring some of those elements from Destiny, but they have got to maintain their own brand for it, for me, personally.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to play it at all. So
it depends what it is. I mean, if it's a third-person Destiny that looks like my style, I would play it. But if it's just Destiny, or it's another, Mass Effect type experience, I probably won't play it.
Yeah, and I do think it needs to carry elements of both of those, but I mean, it does, from what we've seen so far, it does look pretty good.
Yeah.
But it needs to, I think it needs to be a bridge between those two experiences, and it needs to do both of them well. If it doesn't, then it's going to fade. One of the best examples is probably The Division. People really did enjoy the campaign aspect of Division. You don't hear too many complaints about that. Had a good story. It was interesting. It's when you got into endgame content, the people complained. BioWare needs to make sure that that's on point, because they do not have the goodwill of the community right now to be able to make that mistake.
So that's all I really have for EA, unless you have anything else.
I mean,
sports, Anthem, Battlefield, I think is where you're at. We know Battlefield and Anthem are there, and of course you have to know that the sports stuff will be there.
Mm-hmm. And there will be other announcements. It's just I cannot tell you what they're going to be.
They'll be
they're going to be minor.
Yeah, maybe we see a new Need for Speed title. I don't think it's totally out of the realm of possibility for them to do something to announce very early on, just a teaser of a new Burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Burnout Paradise Remastered was very successful. I could see them teasing something with that. Burnout Paradise 2 maybe. But it's so up in the air, because I think they're going to have to devote so much time to Anthem to try to work this thing out.
I think Anthem is going to be the centerpiece of the conference, yes.
So that's EA, Saturday, June 9th, 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern, 1 Central. Mm-hmm. That brings us to Microsoft, one of the big three.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Microsoft can go a lot of different directions here.
Microsoft can do a gazillion different things here.
So there's a lot of games that they've announced these are going to be here. Most of them aren't anything first party or crazy. A lot of these games appear on PS4 too, so I'm actually going to not read through them because they're just third party people bringing their games by.
Right.
So let's start with Microsoft, because we don't know. I'd say we probably know the least about theirs.
Probably, yeah.
So here's some things I think you can count on. A new Halo game.
A new Halo game. They're going to be very Games Pass heavy.
Oh, very Games Pass heavy. But just talking about the games, I think you see a new Halo. I think that's pretty. I think that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of rumors have leaked that Platinum is working on something exclusive for them.
Yes.
So you'll see something along those lines.
I think you're going to see them trying to delve more into the Japanese market. They have stated that that's something that they want to do. So I think you're going to see the beginning bloom of that occurring. They're going to have some announcements. They're going to be very, very heavily Japanese related.
A lot of people think they're going to kick that off with the announcement of Blue Dragon 2.
Yeah, I've heard that, and that's not a bad move.
That was an exclusive JRPG for the 360, so a lot of people think that's a good starting point for, hey, look, we're back doing this thing. Check us out.
Yeah.
We're right here.
I think you're going to see... remember, Crackdown 3 got delayed?
Yeah.
I think you're going to find out that was because they decided to implement a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like that's coming. Like that's... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. The problem is I don't even know how I feel about Crackdown, because it's...
Right.
It's not out. It's not there. That could be a perfect fit, but it's so hard to say without knowing more about what Crackdown actually is.
Right. I played 1 and 2.
Yeah, but it's gone through so many changes.
It has, but it is... the core is still there, and that core is amazing. That would be an amazing core game to implement Battle Royale into.
See, I'm not even comfortable saying that the core of Crackdown 3 will be the same as 1 and 2. It's been through so many changes, I don't even know what that is anymore.
It's still going to be the super powered, high flying, high jumping, super fast. That's
for me, this is not something Microsoft should spend a ton of time on. I mean, show it off, show whatever Crackdown is, whether that's the Battle Royale mode or not, but show it off and get that fucker out.
If they have implemented a Battle Royale mode, that's what they need to focus on, because as much as we hate it, that's the thing right now. That's the it girl, so to speak.
I mean, that game still has no date, no window. Like, get that game out. Like, it's you've been talking about it for too long. I'm kind of over it. So I think you show it. I think you don't spend too much time on it. It should certainly be on stage, but let's spend a couple minutes on it. Let's show off some gameplay. If a new mode exists, let's show that off. If not, let's get everybody clear on what that game is, and let's get a date. Mm-hmm. Let's get it rolling. A lot of rumors out there that you're going to see Perfect Dark 2 also. That's what Rare's been slaving away on this whole time.
That's what Rare's been working on.
Yeah.
Since, that's going to be after Sea of Thieves. If they do announce it, it's not going to be released anytime soon.
I don't even think you're going to get it. So maybe a teaser. I don't think you'll even get that. I think Rare is too busy on Sea of Thieves. Yeah, I think you see Sea of Thieves prominent at this E3 also. I think they show off the next expansion.
Yep.
I think they lay out some of their plans. I think that game has been successful on Games Pass. And then to echo what you were saying earlier, I think Games Pass is probably the star of their show.
Oh, no doubt.
That is Games Pass and cross-platform. That is where the backwards compatibility stuff. The features of the Xbox is where Microsoft has decided to hang its hat.
Which is funny because that's what they stated when they originally announced the Xbox One, and everybody shit on them. And then they've basically said, okay, we're not going to do that, and then implemented it in bits and pieces over time. So, sorry, consumers, you kind of got taken for fools.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about them unveiling a game streaming service.
I don't think that makes sense for them.
Yeah, I think it undermines Game Pass a little bit. I say Games Pass a lot, but it's Game Pass. There's no S on it.
I call it Games Pass too because I like that better.
Because it's games, yeah. But I think it undermines Game Pass a little bit. Now the difference is it won't eat up hard drive space, where that is still a concern on Game Pass. But I don't think the only way I think this is a win is if you don't need one to have if I have Xbox Live, I get access to this, or if I have Game Pass, I get access to the streaming.
So one's pay for play, one's comes free with Xbox Live,
or with Game Pass. You just implement it in something that people are already paying for. That's the only way I think this is a win. Because
I don't think it works as its own separate service.
I'm not going to subscribe to a third service on your console. You're out of your mind.
Especially not a streaming service, because most of the stuff that I'm playing, me personally, that I'm playing on my Xbox is Xbox exclusives, and they're already on Game Pass. So why do I need a streaming service?
Yeah, I need them to spend some time on those things, but I think I would much rather hear about your plans for Game Pass. Mm-hmm. Maybe your PC tie-in for Game Pass. Is it time to say that, hey, you can also play everything on your PC that it is Xbox? Because right now only certain titles are available. Is it time to say everything on Game Pass is now on PC? Here's our roadmap for Game Pass as it grows, as it changes a little bit. I'm more interested in that, and I think that that's where they should spend their time. And unlike Sony, who I think will be very game heavy, I think Microsoft will be very service and hardware heavy.
I do too. I'm with you 100%.
Expect too much talk about how Xbox One X is the most powerful system ever made. Expect too much talk about that.
Yes.
It is. Spoiler alert, it is.
It is. That's not
absolutely.
A lie.
Yeah,
it's
it
true.
is absolutely the most powerful system ever made. It is. We know. Expect too much talk across the board about HDR and all of these. HDR is great. It's amazing. It's the future. We talk about it a lot. So Yeah, I think Microsoft I think that's the right move. I think Phil Spencer comes out low-key. He just talks about the amazing things that have happened with Microsoft over the last year, and then he rolls out a game plan for the future because I think they're on the right track.
I do too. I think making the shift to the service and hardware from trying to beat Sony at games or beat Nintendo at games, I think.
Hell, they can't even beat third party at games.
No. So, I think that was the right track. And like I said, I think that was their original plan that consumers didn't like, so they made the change and then slowly implemented the plan anyway. And now here we are.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see any new hardware or anything like that. I think they'll probably show off. There'll be a new bundle that comes out of all this. Maybe it's the new Halo bundle. Maybe it is the Blue Dragon bundle if that ends up happening. I also think you're going to see an IP here that we don't know about.
There's probably something, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay for them to show off something new.
I think it is going to be something new.
They lost the race already. They know that.
Yep.
They lost the first party race, the exclusive race. They know. So I think it's okay for them to show one or two things off and not get crazy here because they know.
Yeah, the thing is Microsoft now is in a position, and this is kind of what's neat about being on the losing end of this console battle with Sony and Nintendo, is Microsoft can take chances now. They can say, you know what? Now would be a great time to bring back Scalebound. So you know what? We decided, fuck it, we're going to go for
Scalebound's back.
That's probably not going to happen, but you see what I'm saying. A new IP, something they've never done before. Now's the time to take the chances and take the risks and see what happens. Because you might have a star.
I agree. That's a lot of Microsoft chat, but they're one of the big three. So let's pivot now to Bethesda. And what we know we're going to get out of them. So Rage 2, thanks Walmart.
Yep.
Thanks Canadian Walmart. That's one that they were definitely a part of. The Division 2 was everywhere out there, and they finally just came out and said, yeah, okay, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. I still don't know what kind of state that thing is in. They keep showing it off. I'm more and more confused about it. Skull and Bones. With it being delayed to next year, I don't think it'll be a big part of this, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
Starlink, Battle for the Atlas, that's their Toys to Life thing that they're still holding on to.
That it's time to let go because it's not
shit or get off
anymore.
The pot. Well, here's the thing about Ubisoft. They've taken so long to make this, it has now died, and it might be time for something to come back. It's taken so long that whole genre has died, and now there is a totally open market for it.
Yeah, it could be.
Skylanders is gone. Dimensions is gone. Disney Infinity is gone. Like, there is actually a wide open Toys to Life market. And I count Amiibo separate because I think that they are a separate thing. Transference and Assassin's Creed Odyssey is leaked. There's a keychain that came out that says Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It is a Trojan helmet.
Yes.
So everyone's saying we're going back to Greece. Much in the way that the last one was in Egypt, this one will be in Greece, and they're going to carry along here. Here's the thing, though, real quick before we jump into the other things to expect. Also, I'm reading the Ubisoft stuff, not the Fallout, or not the Bethesda stuff.
I know.
So we're going to fuck up the order a little bit here. Rage 2 was them. Everything else I said is Ubisoft. So Odyssey is a terrible fucking name because Mario Odyssey is out.
Right.
So what if you just called it anything else Ubisoft?
I know what they're going for, but yeah.
It doesn't matter. You all I can think now is like Power Moons. I mean, Power Moons are going to be in Assassin's Creed. Like I don't. That's terrible.
Well, I thought I saw. I don't know if it was fan made or if Ubisoft made it, but I saw a quick, like, brief trailer type thing where basically an assassin in a Trojan helmet did the Sparta kick off of somebody off a cliff.
I mean, that game will be awesome. I think that's a perfect setting. I just think the name's terrible because it makes me immediately think of Mario, which is not what you want out of your
right,
super realistic assassin game.
right.
Like, you know how many videos will be Mario jumping off of a large thing into a hay bale going, "It's me, it's a Mario."
That's great. That's all right.
It's funny at first, and then you're like, okay, I get it. It'll be another internet joke.
I still can't figure out why they don't go to feudal Japan.
Well,
You're pissing me off.
Well, I think now they
Ubisoft.
don't do it because of Sony. I think they let Ghost of Tsushima get out of the way. I think it makes sense and will happen at some point. All right, how do you want to do this? Do you want to predict what we're going to happen at Ubisoft, and then we'll pivot back to Bethesda?
Yeah, we'll just do it that way since you fucked it up.
I did fuck it up. So I think their time is very much split between the games we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you'll see one new game that we don't know about. I think theirs is going to be very heavy in their stuff that already exists. I think you'll see DLC for Far Cry 5.
Yes, we know it's coming.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
They'll show some to us. You'll probably get a roadmap for Honor. I think they are going to continue to throw out the seasons for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Rainbow Siege or any of those, but
I think they probably make an appearance. I think they've done such a good job at not letting those games go away that I think, why don't you show them?
Yeah.
A couple new games. I think everyone assumes one of those is going to be Splinter Cell.
Yep. I sure hope so. It kind of has to be now, right? They're going to let some people down if they don't.
If you weren't working on Splinter Cell, I hope you took the last 6 months to get a vertical slice to show everybody, or at least a teaser trailer, because everyone has decided that you were, and they were happy with it.
Yep.
So,
and I think that the timing of the Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands DLC with Sam Fisher, I think, was a pretty good indicator that, it's coming. I think that was almost a tech demo for the game.
I could almost see them releasing some sort of Splinter Cell pack with a couple of the last ones packed in there. As a HD get ready for the new thing. Could almost see an announcement like that being holiday this year for that kind of pack, just to get people back in that Splinter Cell mindset. But yeah, it's got to be a new Splinter Cell game, and I think you see something on top of that too. So I think you'll see the Splinter Cell game, and then I think you'll see something else. And then I think that's all the surprises that you see out of Ubisoft. I think everything else is DLC related, or the games we just went over. Again, the Division 2, if ready, needs a pretty big chunk of the time.
I don't think it's ready yet.
Beyond Good and Evil will be small. Skull and Bones, I don't think can take up too much time. And while Starlink, like I said, it's been long enough for the time to be ready, people don't want to see Toys of Life on stage. It's not easy to tell what's happening. So that has to be a video. Assassin's Creed could, in theory, be ready, but I think taking the year off like they were doing is the smarter way to do it.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
So their star of their show may be all their things. They may not spend a great amount of time on anything. I don't know that you don't see another collaboration with Nintendo.
Yep, I was just gonna say.
Ubi is balls deep in the Switch, and Mario Rabbids had a lot of success, so I don't know that you don't see something there.
Something else.
So maybe the one on top of the what we assume is Splinter Cell will be a Switch game.
Oh, I sure hope not. That'll disappoint me.
So Ubisoft is actually going Monday.
Yeah.
So let's rewind back to the one that comes after Microsoft's. But
now it's time travel.
Yeah. If you want to do these in order, next would be Bethesda. So Canadian Walmart ruined Rage 2, ruined that reveal. They've come out with a trailer now. They're working with Avalanche, the Just Cause people.
Yep.
A lot of rumors out there that this was going to be Mad Max 2. A lot of legal troubles with that.
Yep, and so they just turned it into...
Got a real Borderlands feel to it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So they decided to turn it into Rage 2 Borderlands.
It looks like Rage. It looks like Borderlands, and it looks like the Mercenaries.
Yes.
And then Mad Max skinned.
Yep.
It looks over the top and ridiculous and kind of fun, to be honest.
It might be. It is going to be a first-person shooter.
Then Bethesda decided to tease everybody and run a live stream where they showed a screen with a bobblehead. Please stand by. That ended up being Fallout 76. Set the internet ablaze.
I believe Fallout 76 is a reference to Vault 76.
Yeah, if you're into the lore of Fallout, that is one of the first vaults that are open upon after everything goes down.
After the war.
Yeah, so Vault 76 was supposed to be one of the first ones open. A lot of confusion out there. Soldier 76 on Overwatch. A lot of people saying they should have named it something different. This lore was already there.
Right.
It wasn't as if they're trying to
copy Overwatch.
Encroach on that. Yeah, it just was already there. I think you can expect this to not be a standard Fallout.
I think what you're looking at here, and I don't know if it's going to have a battle royale aspect to it, I think what you're looking at is essentially a survival sim. I think that's what's set in the Fallout world.
So everyone out there is saying that this is an online survival style base building the way you did in 4, but the whole game revolves around that. Building, recruiting, making your base bigger, stronger, faster.
Right.
And very much a different vibe, but the same kind of idea, but really expanded upon. Whereas the base building in 4 to me felt like it was something they tacked on. You could get deep with it, but it felt tacked on.
But it was very simple. It felt like something they added.
This feels like they built a game around that mode. They were able to use a lot of the same assets probably. But because of the timeline, I don't think there'll be as many enemies. With it being one of the first vaults open after, I don't think you see as many.
Right.
It's way less about fighting. No VATs, no shit like that.
Yep.
I think it is resource management, base building. It sounds up my alley.
Almost a single player H1Z1 type game or State of Decay game.
It's a very State of Decay feel, I think. But I think it'll have online components. I think people will be able to come in and do it with you.
I think so too.
I think it'll largely be built around the idea that you want your friends to come in and build this community base.
Yeah. The problem is I think this is a cool idea. I think traditional Fallout fans are going to be incredibly let down by this.
They could be. They shouldn't be because it's too quick for another Fallout.
No, I understand.
If you want a full-fledged Fallout, you'll be disappointed with what you get here, I think.
No, but they're going to be saying, like, well, why didn't you just call this something else? This isn't Fallout. That's what you're going to get from the Fallout fans.
Sure. I think that name's worth a lot, so I think it makes sense to use it.
I do, too. I mean, I'm with you 100%. I totally get it.
There's nothing about the name Fallout 76 that says, here's the brand new next Fallout.
No.
There's a reason it's not called Fallout 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is something different. Just like
Either
Fallout
that or they
Shelter.
skipped 5 to 74. I don't know.
Right, just like Fallout Shelter, it was something different.
Right.
It's supposed to be something different. That's not a traditional Fallout game either, but it was fun. And I think that this will probably be fun too. I think a lot of the questions that people have will be answered
at E3. I think the tease was exactly to make sure that you pay attention during E3 to find out what this game is.
Hey, we're going to spend a lot of time on this, so let's get the shock that it exists out of the way.
Right. And
then let's spend some time on it. Because a lot of the sources out there are saying this is not Fallout as you know it. They let that all get out of the way. All that chatter happens, and now people just sit and wait to find out what it is.
They get past they get the rumors and the guessing game out of the way, and then they can come in at E3 and go, look, here's what we showed you a couple weeks ago. All the hubbub has died down. Here's what it is.
A lot of people are hoping for a new Elder Scrolls. The problem they have is that, by all accounts, Elder Scrolls Online is very successful.
Yeah, there's no reason to move on to a new Elder Scrolls.
If they make a proper Elder Scrolls game, I think they hurt
Online.
Elder Scrolls Online, and that thing is still going strong.
It's one I want to try too.
And I don't think a proper Fallout is ready. So I think
it can't be.
Yeah, so I think you get a lot of Rage 2. I think you see Rage 2 played.
Yeah.
I think
I think both of these games release this year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think without a doubt Fallout is ready. And I think Rage 2 is probably pretty close also. I could see Rage 2 pushing to Q1 next year. I think Fallout's ready.
Yeah, I think Fallout's October or whatever.
Yeah. Now, obviously that's not enough to fill up an entire press conference. Here's where I think that Bethesda can afford to do. They can get a little crazy here. They can show off some things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not we know Bethesda's been through some shit. Rogue Warrior, Wet, they made some real shit games, but they weren't afraid to make them.
Don't you talk bad about Wet.
But they weren't afraid to make them, even if they were shit.
Wet 2.
I think they're going to show off some stuff here.
I do too. Some new stuff that they're trying.
As much as people don't want to hear it, I think you get a Doom 2.
Yeah.
I know people were all into the Doom and it was perfect and don't ruin it and where do we go from here? I think they go somewhere from there. The game was too successful. All the assets are already there. I think you see something with Doom 2.
I could see that. I think they're going to introduce some new IPs that they're going to try.
Yeah, I think so too. I would love to see them do some smaller things. They always think so big.
I wonder what they would look like on an indie scale.
Yeah, something like what.
It'd be interesting.
And they didn't keep doing it, but with Ubisoft, with Child of Light and Valiant Hearts, like I would love to see some of these bigger players allocate
scale back a bit,
a small team, and just make some of these really cool ideas that they have floating around.
Yeah,
and I think Bethesda would be one of those companies that I would love to see do that.
See what they do,
but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
What was the
what?
The one that they canceled and then reboot and brought back as a totally new game.
Who's that?
Bethesda. This came out last year, I think.
I don't know.
I can't think of it.
It's probably not one I played.
It's like where you're fighting like the shadow things, the black monster things. You have like that glue gun thing where they can't move. I can't think of the name of that game. Prey. Prey 2. I could almost see them following up Prey already.
Yeah, because Prey was pretty successful for him.
Yeah, I could see them teasing that.
Actually, isn't Dishonored Bethesda too?
Yeah, but I don't think Dishonored 2 saw the success that the first one did.
No, but it got a lot of critical acclaim.
Yeah, that doesn't pay the bills though.
It doesn't, but it counts. It counts. It buys you a little bit. I don't think you'll see. I don't think you'll see a major. I don't think you'll see Dishonored 2. I was just asking.
Yeah, I don't think it'll make sense.
I don't know that Prey was as successful as you say it was.
I think it did. I think it sold pretty well. I could see a Prey before I could see a Dishonored. Maybe we'll see both.
Okay.
Who knows?
Depends on what they got going on, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe we'll see both. So that is Bethesda. They do go Monday after Microsoft, so 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. We're not going to do Devolver. They're crackheads. Who knows what they'll do? Their last year's show was some sort of like play.
It was a theater.
Yeah, performance art. We're going to also skip Square. I assume you'll see some Final Fantasy VII finally.
Square Enix.
See a lot of Kingdom Hearts.
You'll see some. What I'd like to see is from Square is I would like to see an update on the Life is Strange sequel.
And you probably will. You'll see some. A lot of their time, I think, will be Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I think so too.
I would love for Square. Now they don't. This is very complicated because the studio doesn't exist anymore, and they just picked up the name and the game. I would love to see a Sleeping Dogs too. But without United Front, I don't know if that game is as special. We did Ubisoft already. Again, that is Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern, 3 Central. We're absolutely not going to talk about the PC gaming show because who gives a shit? There's your who gives a shit moment. Powered by Gamestitch. And then that brings us to Sony at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Monday, June 11th.
Yes, yes.
Now, Sony's made this really easy for us.
Oh, my God.
Because they came out and said, here are the 4 games we're going to spend most of our time on.
Yeah.
Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us Part 2. Just tell me which one's the weak link there, because I don't know. Dear God.
I don't know. I think you're finally going to see some Death Stranding gameplay.
It confused everybody. Mm-hmm.
You're just going to find out more about Spider-Man.
That game's ready to go.
It's ready. Yeah. It is ready to go. I think you're going to get a release date for Last of Us 2.
I think it's time for that. It's been shown off enough. I think it's time. I don't think it's this year.
I don't either, but I think you're going to get the release date, or at least a release window. And Ghost of Tsushima, we're just going to get more information on.
See, I think that game is more ready, too, than people realize.
Than people let on? You think so?
Yeah, I think that game is close. I think they finally show that game off. You know, they haven't shown that game.
Yeah, I think showing. I definitely think they show it.
But I think that game might even get a date.
Could be.
That game has been in the works for a long time. Like, I think that's all they've done since.
And other than those games, I think the biggest thing you're going to get out of Sony is their third-party exclusive information.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of the same players that we talked about with Microsoft. I think they've got a partnership worked out with Red Dead. I think you'll see. I think it'll be brief. Someone will come out from Rockstar and say, it's so hard to predict. Sony doesn't do a conference anymore.
Right.
Someone will walk out, say a few pieces, and then they just show trailers until it ends.
Right.
So you may not get any of this stuff other than the 4 we just talked about. They said a deep dive into those. The best thing that Sony could do is forget that Days Gone exists and not even show it here.
No kidding.
Just forget about it for now. Maybe that game goes away and turns out to be great, but just let it go.
Keep it out of people's minds and let them be surprised.
Now, Sony does the pre-show with Sid and all them.
Yep.
That's where I think you're going to see a lot of these things. Maybe the Red Dead thing is announced there. I think that makes maybe even more sense. Dreams will get a big look at the beginning of that. I think the beta is announced, and I think you get a release date for that game.
Okay.
No, they just released a video on PlayStation Underground. That game looks ready too. And that game has panned out to be exactly what they said it would be. So I think Sony's probably pretty happy with where that game is at. I think it's time for that game to come out. And then I think Sony just goes all in at the beginning of the show with VR.
I think you're going to see a lot of VR from Sony as well.
A lot. I don't know that it makes the stage in anything other than a sizzle reel.
But as far as that pre-show you're talking about, they're going to talk about VR a lot.
I wonder, let me see if it's on here. I can't remember if there's a VR 4v4. I don't think it's here. I don't think it's on this list that I have. They have a VR like 4v4 competitive shooter coming out. Mm-hmm. Apparently it was at E3 Judges Week, and apparently it's very cool. So that could make the main stage briefly.
Yeah.
But I think VR will be the star of the pre-show, and I think Sony's just going to overwhelm people with titles.
Yeah, I do too. 10
to 15 VR things.
That's what they did last year, remember?
Mm-hmm.
It was just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. I think the big, who saw that coming is a remaster of a game that you
wouldn't expect.
Yeah, something on the scale of Shadow of the Colossus. I know they don't have a lot of games that big, but something on the scale of that, I think.
Siphon Filter.
Yeah, something on the scale of that where you're like, oh shit, really?
Maybe Ico.
Maybe I think that ship has probably sailed.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. But I think they could do something there. It's not the worst pick. I liked Ico more than Shadow of the Colossus, so it's not the worst pick for sure. But yeah, I think you see them bring something back. But yeah, the bulk, I think Sony made it easy when they said these are the 4 games we're going to deep dive into.
Yeah, they didn't leave a whole lot of room for speculation.
A lot of rumors that you see a PlayStation 1 Mini. PS1 Mini. They've got...
I have heard that.
They've done all the legal filings, apparently, for something of that nature.
Again, I don't think that's in the main show. I think if you see that, it's in the pre-show.
I don't know that any of these things are in the main show other than those 4. Sony's been weird. They have been shifting their conference to a Nintendo Direct.
Uh-huh.
It's just like this pre-planned 4 videos, and then we all go home. So, I don't know what you get out of Sony pre-show and what you get out post-show and what actually happens during the show.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
Now, I will say that there are, and I don't think you see this anywhere, so where I think you see this is on the next show, but everyone has their hand up in the air with all the money they can hold, hoping to get Fortnite on their stage, hoping to get Epic there. I don't think you see them anywhere except for the next one because they have no desire to do exclusives.
Right.
It segments the audience, which is the opposite of what they're into.
Of what they want to do.
Yeah. So, anything else for Sony?
No, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of surprises from Sony. I think they've pretty much laid out the roadmap for what's going to be at their show. You might get an exclusive. You might get, like the Sony PS1 Classic. But I don't think we're in for a whole lot of surprises.
That new Sony PS4, the new whatever they call their Days of Summer PS4 or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
the thing is fucking rad. I could see them off. Yeah,
the blue one with the
best
gold.
looking PS4 they've ever made.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I could see them.
I can't get one, but I want one.
I would see them showing off a new bundle too. Not with that, but with something, another color, another cool console. Like I said, Microsoft will do the same thing. There'll be bundles there.
Oh yeah,
we'd probably get a new controller color. So
midnight purple.
I would love to make the prediction that Sony has a Pro controller, but they just officially licensed that scuff controller that looks like an Xbox One controller. I just don't think Sony has any desire to make a Pro controller.
It doesn't look like an Xbox controller.
It does. It's got staggered sticks and everything.
Yes, it does, but it looks like a Sony controller.
It's just
got the staggered sticks. Yeah,
it looks like an Xbox One controller.
I know you don't like it. Whatever.
It's like $200 too.
I know it. I'm not getting one.
Fucking third-party controller.
Quit crying.
No thanks. Not for an Xbox controller I can hook to my PS4. No thanks. But I would love to make that prediction, but I don't think Sony wouldn't have licensed that if they were going to turn around and make one.
No.
No PS5. Stop that. Stop all that.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Stop all that.
And you're not going to get any more word on the many options for portable. They're not even going to speak about it.
And I don't think that you're changing your name either.
What?
I don't think you're changing your PSN either.
Oh, no, I don't. Got it.
We'll just talk about that in 3 years when we talk about the PS5.
It still won't be implemented.
The last show, Nintendo, Tuesday, like I said, bright and early, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. Nintendo will have a Nintendo Direct like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
I just alluded to the fact that I think you see Fortnite there.
I do too.
Fortnite for Switch, it's ready.
That's where Epic has to go to make the most impact for this E3.
And to melt your balls even more, I think Fortnite for Switch is ready right now.
To go. It's available right now.
It's available tomorrow. Or, like you just said, it's available right now. Go to your Switch and download it. Nintendo's got this thing where if you're on the floor and you have your Switch, you get this pin if someone finds you.
Uh-huh.
Even better if everyone walks around trying to download Fortnite. Even better. So I think that thing is ready right now.
Yep, I do too.
And I think that is the star of Nintendo's show. Even if they only give it a small part of the Direct, it's all anyone will talk about.
That's right. You're absolutely correct.
And if you're one of those people, it's like, oh, run like shit on a Switch. Fuck you. It runs on a phone. It runs well on a phone. Go to hell. It'll be fine on the Switch. Don't be a dick just to be a dick. Game's going to be fine. Game's fine everywhere.
It does what it needs to do everywhere. Epic did some good shit with Fortnite. I don't play it, but they took care of business.
So let's talk about what we know is going to be there.
Go.
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Switch. Splatoon 2 will be there. And, of course, the star of their show is Super Smash Bros. As far as Nintendo's concerned. You'll finally get answers. Is this a updated Wii U one? If this is something totally different? How does it work? What do the amiibo look like? You're going to get all that info.
Yeah, they're going to lay out the plan.
Fortnite will steal the show, I think. But that is Nintendo's gem. That's their hidden ace. That's their, look at what we did. We've already announced it, but it's time for you to see what it is. So many questions around what it is.
And as far as here's the thing that I think you're going to see be the second star of the show. Take second place. I think it's going to be the N64 Classic.
Yeah, I think that happens. I think it happens. I think you see it. I think it gets a price point. I think it gets a time frame.
Yep, all of that.
The time frame is probably next year, because we're going to make SNES Classics and NES Classics for the rest of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the N64 Classic hits next year.
Next May.
Yeah, May, June, July. There'll be plenty of them. Don't fret. It will be the most expensive classic.
Yeah, I think it's going to run $129.
I don't know. I think it'll be at least $100.
Yeah, I'm thinking $129. Maybe $119, but
I'm thinking $100. I think that thing's going to be $99.
You think 99 even?
Yep,
it's a possibility.
$99.99. I think it comes in right under a penny under 100.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And I think people line up to buy it.
Now, I also think
Go ahead.
I also think, on and off prediction, I also think that this is the last of the classics that you'll see made.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can do. Here's the only one I think that is a possibility, and I'm not sure how they want to do it. I think Game Boy Classic is a thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I meant for the.
But they're not going to do a GameCube Classic. The games are getting too big.
Yep. It can't happen.
But I could see a Game Boy Classic or a Game Boy Advance Classic or something like that. My question is it a handheld that has 15 games built in? Because that's pretty fucking cool. Or is it something I plugged in my TV that looks like a Game Boy that lets me play them on the TV? Or is it both? I mean, I don't know what it is, but I think that's a possibility too. I think you see a lot of amiibos. I think it's finally time for Animal Crossing Switch to be announced.
Mm-hmm.
The mobile game was successful. It's died off now. They kind of missed their window, but it's a good time to bring it back. It will tie in with the game, with the app, the same way that this new Pokemon ties in together. The Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee that were announced.
Yep, the Pokemon stuff needs to.
It'll tie in, so it ties in with Pokemon Go. Apparently, anything you capture in one can be moved to the other. So. That's a smart play. It would have been a really smart play a year and a half ago, but it's still a smart play. Also, they have that Pokeball controller, which got me rock hard, because you actually hold it and throw it at the Pokemon to catch them. That's fucking cool. Those are going to release day and date together later this year. But I think you'll see Animal Crossing. I think it does tie in with the Animal Crossing app, the game on the App Store, and I think that people will be pleasantly surprised by how close that game looks to the app.
Right. And one thing I don't think you'll see, that there's been some speculation that you will see, I don't think you're going to see Bayonetta 3.
Maybe something
There's been
short.
some speculation. There's been some speculation, but I just don't know that enough time has passed between two.
Well, Platinum sure as fuck makes too many games.
So
who knows?
Well, yeah, that's true. But I just don't think you're going to see it. And I guess if you do, it's going to be real short and it's nowhere near ready.
Yeah, they make too many games. I mean, so one thing we didn't discuss, I mean, I'm sure, so we said that they've got something for Microsoft, we think. I'm sure, Bayonetta 3 is obviously out there. We could see 2 or 3 more Platinum games on these other
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, on Sony or for all of them, or you expect to see Platinum pretty represented, I think.
Yep, because that's all they fucking do.
Yeah. And we skipped over it, but I think in Sony you also see From Software's new game, which I think is just Bloodborne 2.
Mm.
And good. People love that. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a new IP.
Yeah.
It's either going to be something else Souls related or Bloodborne 2.
It's Bloodborne 2.
Okay.
I think it's easy. It's a no-brainer.
I agree with you.
The only reason I don't think it's a Souls game is because those are everywhere, and I think they, again, segment that audience by doing that.
Possibly.
But I do think that even if they made something else, I guess it'd be the same kind of game. That's what they make.
Right.
So why not just do a Bloodborne 2? It's established. People loved it.
People did love it.
They've been teasing all that weird stuff that nobody understands.
with the scrolls.
Yeah, so it's time.
Maybe it's a new Tenchu game.
I think Nintendo's is going to be the most structured, the most... You're going to come out of Nintendo's feeling like you learned the most. Mm-hmm. Because Nintendo has been strong at this game of just, oh, look, here's the 20 things we're working on. Mm-hmm. Here's 2 surprises.
I think you're going to be the most excited by Sony.
I think Sony's going to get your blood pumping. I think Microsoft's is going to feel very smart and elegant. I don't mean elegant in presentation, but very like, oh, that makes sense for their game plan. Like it's very well thought out. Phil Spencer's a smart dude.
Yep, it is. It's going to be it's going to feel very structured. It's going to feel the most professional, I guess.
Yeah, so if it was a meeting, Microsoft would sit down and give you a 30, 60, 90.
Yes.
If this was a meeting, Sony would walk in and punch you right in the mouth.
Yes.
And then get up and walk out. And there'd be something inside of you that said, I kind of like that.
And Nintendo's is going to be a PowerPoint that's boring as fuck, but after you're done, you're going to be like, holy shit, I can't believe what I learned there.
There's a lot going on, right? A lot of answers. Like, I'm pretty excited about a lot of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you can expect to expect 3 very different presentations.
No doubt. It's also important to note that Sony is doing the PSX in theaters again this year.
If you're listening Monday, Tuesday is when it opens up.
Yes, June 5th.
Mm-hmm.
It opens up. Keep an eye on probably the PlayStation blog.
They have it up right now. And I do I'm going to make one overall prediction. I think this is a very good E3. I think there are less announcements than normal, less oh shit moments. But I think all 3 do a very good job, and they all 3 are landing in a very different space.
Yes, I don't think anybody needs the oh shit moments because they are all in the place that is that they want to be, that is necessary for them. They don't need those because they have what they have in the works is already so perfect for what they are. For the first time in a long time, long time, all 3 companies have nothing to lose. Exactly. Sony wins this whole... I don't mean against the others. I mean, they win. They win this time. They win. They sold a shit ton. They're going to move over 100 million consoles. Mm-hmm. They win. They're good. Microsoft is free from public opinion. Yeah. They can do what they want and what they think is good for the company, and if you don't like it, well, you didn't like we were doing before, so it's fine. Why we're in last place. Yeah. I mean, if you at this point don't trust Phil Spencer, then you probably shouldn't be a Microsoft person. Right. I'll say this as someone who prefers to play the PS4. There's no one who cares more about the thing they're making than Phil Spencer. Let me back that. Nintendo's pretty insane too, with their belief of their things. But Phil Spencer, as just one person, fucking cares more about gamers and what they're doing than he does the brand. I almost disagree with you. I think Nintendo cares about the direction of their company. I think they care about the business aspect of it, and they know what they're going to do to maintain that, and they do it. I think Phil Spencer actually feels for Microsoft. Well, but I think, what I was saying is he cares more. He cares more about the people who play the games than the brand. Yes. He's all in Microsoft, but I think that's less important to him than like Nintendo is to anyone at Nintendo. They bleed Nintendo over there. I think he bleeds gamer, which is why he's been given a bigger role. I mean, they want to make it right. Yeah. But no one has anything to lose. The Switch's success, no one could have ever imagined. Yeah, the Switch is going to do what it's going to do, with or without an E3, with or without a Nintendo Direct. People still buy the fucking DS. Yeah. 3DS is still selling like crazy. Yeah. Amiibo's still printing money. Who would have ever guessed after all this time, after the Toys of Life totally died, that Amiibo exists in its own little realm? Yeah. And the Switch is crazy. They've opened up to cross-platform. Like, it's so smart. Everything they've done is so smart. They have nothing to lose. Microsoft is uniquely positioned to set the roadmap for their next console right now. Yeah, they are. they're in a risk-free. They can afford to take the risks because they've got nothing to lose. And you've got to be. You always got to watch out for the person with someone when they got nothing to lose because you don't know what they're gonna do.
And if 10 years ago you asked Sony where they wanted to be with the PS4, it's probably not even this high.
No.
VR, it slowed down a little bit, but it sold better than they ever expected. The PS4 sold better than it expected. The Pro sold better than it expected. All their first-party games are fucking bananas good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine. Whatever happens at this point happens. Big John's already working on the PS5. I mean, it's all good. So I think it'll be a very good E3. I don't think it'll be the most exciting E3.
I don't think it's going to have a lot of those surprises.
Yeah, thanks, Canadian Walmart. Yeah, assholes. Yeah, assholes. So those are our predictions. Let us know what you think at @game_stitch. Hit us up with your predictions. Did we miss stuff? Yes. Did we leave stuff off? Yes. Did I fuck up the order? Absolutely. But we had to do it different this year because it's hard to sit down and make a list of surprises for each of these because I just don't think there's that many left.
Yeah, not after all the announcements.
I think we don't know a lot about Bethesda. I think we don't know a lot about Microsoft. I think if you're going to get surprises, it will be from them.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think that's what Microsoft's going to spend a lot of time on.
You may get some indie surprises from Ubisoft, but
I hope you get indie surprises from everybody. I hope
I
third
would love
party
to, but
and
I
indie
know
is
that's
strong.
not happening. I know that ain't happening.
Sizzle reels is all you'll get in Sony's because they committed.
Mm-hmm.
4 games. Kojima's going to take up at least half the time because he can't do anything in less than 30 minutes.
No.
So there's that. We hope you enjoyed it, though. This has been our E3 prediction show. We're not going to do all the stuff we normally do for time purposes. But again, we wanted to just come in and just give you our thoughts on E3 as we inch ever so close to it.
Ever so close.
This is going to be also your final reminder for the Comic-Con. Flower City,
yes.
FC3 Rocks. Rock.
FC3rock.com, the Flower City Comic-Con. It's going to be next weekend. Saturday, 3 o'clock is the panel/interview.
That's up on the Twitter, right?
I've got it up on our Twitter. You can go to fc3rock.com and see the schedule. You can also go to I'm going to give a shout out to this app here. I just got to find it.
Okay.
I think it's called Gather. Give me just a second. I'm still chatting here. Yep, it's called. If you go to whatever your store is on your phone and go to Gather, you'll see Gather come up. It's an app, all 4 cons. If you just scroll through, you'll find FC3. It's going to give you a map. It's going to give you the schedule. You can buy tickets through there. You can actually set a plan for yourself where you want to go at what time. It's a really cool app. I'm actually using it to keep track of some stuff because I will be there next week.
Mm-hmm.
I will be interviewed, part of a panel. So I will also be probably buying shit because that's what I do too.
That is what you do at a con. Although I will say after going to something, you didn't go as wild as I thought you would go.
I was being responsible in a way I shouldn't have. I wanted to go wild. I almost spent $500 and instead I scaled back to like $200.
Due to some unforeseen life events, I actually won't be able to go, which is disappointing, I know, to me, to Dan, to everybody. But I'm going to work as closely as possible and make sure that, we knew from the very beginning there's a chance I wouldn't get to go. So it's not a total blindside, but it's still unfortunate. But I have looked over everything. Dan has got it in a place where I think it's going to be really fun and really informative. And we still want you guys to be there if you can be there. I've been
busting my ass on this, that's for sure.
So
last thing I want to do is look like a fool up there.
Yeah, I mean, I
more
look
so than I'm going.
Right, I look like a fool all the time, so it's fine. We think everything's good here. We don't want to promise anything, but we plan to get the audio from the show and actually put it on this feed, so that you guys can check it out. Now, I'm not sure what the time frame looks like on that.
I'm not either, but that's right now. Last I talked, that was supposed to be the plan, and that's cool. You get to listen to them too. I'll wait till next week to introduce them, but they're I've listened to their podcasts and it's interesting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's all exciting, and again, if there's any way you can make that, do so. It's next weekend. Or this weekend when you're listening to it.
Yes.
Next weekend.
The 9th and 10th. The 9th and 10th.
That's going to do it. Like I said, not a normal episode, but thanks for everyone. Thanks to our Patreon supporters. We'll get back to shout outs and everything next week. Thanks for sticking with us and these shows that are a little different, but we think it's fun to switch it up every now and then and just talk about what's going on. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Together we're at Game_Stitch. You can always hit the show up, podcast@gamestitch.com on your email. And if you have something long form you need to tell us. So thanks. We're going to get in there and play some games with you guys. It is June, so we've got some streams planned. Busy month. Once we push past this first couple of weeks, I think we've got some time to actually get in there and get up in it.
I don't know what I'm going to get into this week. Got a lot of prep to do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make any promises on streams because I'm already like 5 streams in the hole.
That's true.
But you'll get at least one this month because it's what we do. Thanks again, and we're going to talk to you next week. Not sure what next week's show is going to be like either, but we're going to be here next week.
True story.
It's a true story. All right. Good night.
Good night.